How many Christmas movies have you watched so far this holiday season? I bet you a lot of you have seen this one. So I want you to guess, what is this Christmas movie? So if you pick the Charlie Brown Christmas, you win. It's one of my, got to be one in the top 3 of my favorite Christmas movies slash TV specials. Watched every year. Of course, it came out a little bit before I was born, back in 1965, but I've been watching it ever since I can remember. And what a great, wholesome TV show that talks about growing up in a small town and what Christmas means throughout the entire comic strip series and all the animated Charlie Brown episodes. No one could take this out of Linus's hands. This was his, the term security blanket really connects with Linus. This is his security. But an interesting thing happens in the Charlie Brown Christmas animated show, and it's when he gets up there to recite Luke chapter 2, 8 through 14, where the shepherds were in the fields and the angels came, and something I had never realized before until recently. When he says, "Do not be afraid," Linus actually lets go of his blanket. He drops the blanket on the ground. And what an interesting thing, what an eye-opening thing that Charles Schulz did in that moment. What he was saying through Linus dropping that blanket was this: at the birth of Jesus, we can drop all of our bad habits. We are free from our fears, and we can drop those false securities that we've held onto for so long. This is a scary world, and we spend a lot of time reaching for temporal things that bring us security. Let's be honest. It's hard to not fear, especially in the time we're living in. But in the midst of so much fear and insecurity, this simple yet wholesome cartoon from 1965 gives us a great image, a great visual for what it means to fear not. So what does Linus do after he recites this beautiful biblical passage of the angels confronting the shepherds? After Charlie Brown asks about true meaning in Christmas, he picks his blanket back up. And we're just like that, aren't we? We do the same thing. We get presented with the truth. We get presented with the answer to our fears and our anxieties, and we pick it back up. We pick up the very thing that we need to drop. So he doesn't hold on to it for long, though. At the end of the episode, as they bring out that pathetic, pitiful tree, Linus again puts it on the ground, wraps it around the base of that Christmas tree to give it some stability, to give it some strength. And again, wow, what a simple but beautiful gesture that comes from Charles Schulz, showing us that, ultimately we do lay those things down, and the choir of kids comes together and they start to sing, "Hark the Herald Angels Sing, Glory to the Newborn King." And it's like they come to this point where they all realize what is truly the meaning of Christmas, what's the most important thing. So I hope that you come to an understanding where you drop those false securities and you begin to realize that you don't have to fear, because Jesus Christ is the one and only true King, and He is the reason for the Christmas season.